Hey guys, pay attention to the right arm of Craig Jones, how he's blocking the right hip of Alexander. He's pushing and not allowing Alexander to get the near side hook. And now he pulled himself into it, you see? So he was using push-pull momentum to bait Alexander Volkanovski for that hip switch, which was amazing. Let's see if he'll manage to get top position here. Yeah, Alexander managed to scramble out of it, straight into Octopus guard. Let's see, that was very nice. Guys, pay attention to the hip of Craig Jones, how much lower it is than Alexander Volkanovski. That is very important from this position. And with that crab right hook, it is much easier to open Volkanovski to the right and open the hips of his. So he managed to get the back of Alexander. They were basically in the same position, just the hip positioning of Craig Jones was much better, so yep. But he's letting Alexander Volkanovski stand up here, straight into close guard. And Craig Jones is trying to set up a buggy choke from the close guard. That was crazy. It is very rare to see that, but it is possible. Now he's accepting this half guard position. Pay attention to the top arm of Craig Jones, how he's blocking that crossface. And now he's managing distance so he can grab the hip of Alexander and reverse him. That was amazing. His use of distance and blocking that right arm of Alexander was amazing. Watch the right hook of Craig Jones, opening the top leg of Alexander and getting his back straight into body triangle. And Alexander is defending the choke, trying to posture up. He's trying to go on his knees. Yeah, this was amazing escape. Also holding the bottom leg of Craig Jones so he cannot heist up and chase the shoulders and the back of Alexander. But straight away into a tilt sweep and chair sitting to take the back. Watch the left arm of Craig Jones, how he's holding that underhook. But I think he's going to let it go because Alexander is again going on his knees and taking top position. Also, Craig Jones is leaving a lot of space for Alexander to expose because they are not going like 100% here. They're playing. But you can see the level just by watching this. But it is expectable because they're in completely different sports. Alexander is using a good head position here. He's using it basically like a near side underhook, you see. But butterfly hook from Craig Jones, straight away going into turtle. This is the problem with MMA people when they go against jiu-jitsu guys. They are not using the hooks to take the back. So even though Craig Jones will make a mistake like that butterfly hook, he's free to go into turtle and then just like shoulder roll out of it into guard, you see. Because Alexander will never try to take the back of Craig Jones and put the hooks in. So every time Craig Jones messes up, he can go into turtle and just shoulder roll out of it. Which is like, you see this, he will do it again here. It is like a very easy escape against people who are MMA based. Also against people who are wrestlers. They will just not accept taking your back. Because for them, that is very risky, for most of them. If they're very good at MMA and also in jiu-jitsu like Charles or Kron Gracie or Demian Maia, they will take your back. But most people, they just want to stay on top and never lose top position, which is understandable. But when you go against them, it is very easy just to go into turtle and shoulder roll out of it into guard. And Craig Jones is going for it again. But now I think Alexander Volkanovski chasing the back. But guys, watch what I was thinking. This is why this is so dangerous for Alexander Volkanovski, chasing the back. Watch how he will end into side control, straight into a darts, because he was trying to put the hooks in, you see. And imagine him going against Islam Makhachev and trying to take the back of Islam Makhachev and ending up in side control against him. It is so dangerous for him. Against anybody, like Alexander Volkanovski doing that against anybody in UFC, it is so dangerous. So most of the time, he's not even trying to do that, which is the correct response for that position, I think. Just try to stay on top and ground and pound. And again, Craig Jones is shoulder rolling, but again, Volkanovski is trying to follow the back. But watch how quickly he will relinquish this position and gain top position. It is very important to do that. If something does not work, straight away go for the top position. Because in MMA, it is so important, so important. Now Alexander is going into turtle, but watch now. Because Craig Jones is a jiu-jitsu guy, straight away he's taking the back, putting the hooks in, and putting the body triangle. But I think Alexander Volkanovski will manage to find a way to escape from this position. Also, Craig Jones is not going 100% here. Straight away standing up Alexander Volkanovski shin slicing, trying to backstep, but Craig Jones using that right hook of his to prime open the right leg of Alexander Volkanovski and expose his back. But now Alexander Volkanovski is again in top position, trying to smash the hip of Craig Jones, managing to get himself into a calf slicer here. His knee is free, so maybe he will get free from here. Yeah, he just needs to high step a little bit more. But now he's managing to get into a knee bar, again escaping that position. Yeah, Craig Jones had like 3 different leg locks there. He just going light on Alexander Volkanovski, because for sure he could have finished him there. That was crazy. Like every position was a leg lock position there for Craig Jones. But he is just playing here with Alexander Volkanovski, which for people who don't understand jiu-jitsu, it is crazy how he's like going so easy against Volkanovski, and Volkanovski is trying his best. But yeah, again now going for that octopus counter there, just amazing. Watch how he's controlling the top shoulder of Volkanovski. So it's hard for Volkanovski to rotate into him, you see. It is very important until you get a good seatbelt or double underhooks from here with the arms, Craig Jones, you see. So you need to control that top shoulder of Alexander until you do that. He was going for that Kimura, but Alexander Volkanovski managed to slip away from there. Craig Jones really likes to block that far hip and jump over for this like back take. Also, you can end up in armbar like this. So this is very deep armbar. If you watch the shoulder of Alexander Volkanovski, now he's getting free. He's trying to get free his elbow line. But, oh my god, Craig Jones going belly down. Let's see. This is also a correct response for Alexander, jumping over Craig Jones. But Craig Jones is following the elbow line. And you cannot know if he was stopped there or just the time ended. But that was a very deep position, but it kept getting looser and looser. But just amazing work from both of them. Also, it is very nice to see how Craig Jones is flow rolling with Alexander Volkanovski and not trying to completely kill him in this like sparring session, and also in like a camera setting. So yeah.
This is point 2. We're calling an octopus guard. Across the board, I don't want you to think of it as a guard. It's not a guard, it's not a closed guard, it's not a half guard. It is a position that we are moving at all times. We're hitting tipping points, tilting points, we're making them chase us, hang on to us, shoot for submissions and pins that aren't really there. So again, although we're calling it Octopus Guard 2.0, try not to think of it as a guard, think of it as an ongoing scramble. That is a problem that is hard for them to solve, and we're going to have sort of answers for all the options and all the risks we take along the way.